I was pretty sure I was never gonna make this video because I didn't want it to come off in bad taste or look like I was trying to diss an organization that I chose to join. I made a video about dropping my sorority, and I made it pretty general in the sense that I kind of just talked mainly about things about Greek life that I didn't agree with and how those things influenced my decision to drop, etc. And I made a note that I didn't want to discuss anything related to my personal chapter just because when I made that video, I'd only been out of my sorority for like 2 weeks. So I wasn't gonna try and, ruffle feathers or instigate something when I'd only been unaffiliated for a very short period of time. I have now been out of my sorority for months, and I don't have any connection to my sorority anymore. When I drive past the sorority house, when I see people that are in my chapter still, whatever, I don't feel anything. I genuinely feel like it was never even part of my identity. And I don't know if that was because I wasn't a very involved member or if that was because of the things that I went through while being a member. I don't know, but since I've been out for such a long period of time, and since I'm a very honest person and I want to use YouTube as a platform to educate people and discuss things that I consider important, I figured I do want to make this video. And this video is about how, in my opinion, my sorority targeted me and giving the specific examples of things that my chapter did wrong that led to me dropping. And I'm going to conclude this video by reading you guys the email that I sent my chapter when I dropped, which I think will be a really great summary of everything that I felt in the moment and my emotions and what was going on in my mind and everything that was just happening surrounding my dropping decision. I'm not going to say my chapter's name, so I'm just going to refer to them as XYZ. To start this with a disclaimer, because this video is going to be pretty negative on Greek life and my sorority. If someone in my sorority is watching this, if you're my friend and you're in the sorority, then you know that I was targeted and you will vouch me on this and you're probably saying, you fucking go, girl. If you're not my friend in my now not sorority, you're just watching this to lurk me. So are you having fun? Are you? I do think there are good things about Greek life, and I do think there are good things about different chapters. But I did not have a good experience, and that's what I want to talk about. You can find videos on YouTube all fucking day long about girls that love their sorority and the best parts about recruitment and blah, blah, fuckity blah. Everyone talks up sororities in Greek life like it is the end-all be-all of college. It is the end-all be-all of the social food chain. It is the end-all be-all of life. Being in your sorority for life makes your life so much better, and it's fucking bullshit. Like, if you, honest to God, think your fucking letters matter when you graduate college, you need a wake-up call because it doesn't mean anything. If you find a job where your boss is an alumni for your sorority, then maybe that is a perk. Maybe you have a 10% higher chance of getting that job over other people that are being interviewed. But in general, no one gives a fuck if you were in XYZ, ABC, CDG. No one gives a fuck what you were in. So, like, people that are in Greek life thinking it is, like, their world and they are in this little world and they're top tier and life is so good, like, you're kidding yourself or you're delusional. And I think that stems from the fact that sororities are literally cults. And someone made a video comparing sororities to cults that went fucking viral last year. Viral as fuck on Vimeo. And that video was removed from Vimeo. Like, are you kidding? If that is not proof enough of the cult-like behavior of sororities, I don't know what is. Sororities across the nation would probably be like, oh shit, we can't have this video out there. Oh, this makes us look bad. Yeah, it makes you look bad because it's fucking honest. Thank God someone made that video. I'm gonna find it somewhere on the internet and link it down below. I highly recommend that you watch it. I'm just trying to shed light on why I dropped, and I'm going to tell a negative story. I'm going to show the negative side of being in a sorority because people need to fucking know that shit. Hello? My sorority hates me. And they're gonna hate me more if and when they see this video. But I'm keeping their identity private and I'm only stating facts. I'm gonna fucking say it how it is. When I joined my sorority, I wanted the sorority that I chose. There was a different sorority that really, really wanted me, and I knew girls inside that sorority already personally, so I knew that if I wanted to be in that chapter, it would be really easy, you know, like I'd be a shoo-in, like I had people on the inside vouching for me. But I ultimately chose a completely separate chapter from that one. I chose a chapter that I completely just chose on my own. I went on my feelings and my emotions and everything that I felt during Rush. So I made the decision for me. I thought I was picking the best house for me. Once I joined, I like immediately had issues, and I don't really feel like I did anything wrong. I just think that my personality wasn't what this chapter wanted, and they decided to let me know straight off the bat that I wasn't really XYZ material. I immediately could tell that people didn't like me. I remember my first ever tailgate of the fall, I was talking to girls that I knew and girls that I was comfortable with. I made a comment about how I was going to travel down to Gainesville, where the University of Florida is, to see my ex-boyfriend, because at the time we'd only been broken up for like a month or two, saying that I was gonna go visit my boyfriend because that was the only place that I could get laid. Like, that is 100% my sense of humor. I make crude jokes all the time. In my opinion, that's not even that crude. That's me talking about my sex life with friends. And since word spreads fast and girls love to gossip, everyone knew that I made a comment about getting laid in Gainesville, and they were already on my back. Like, you shouldn't be saying things like that. Don't make comments like that. Like, that makes us look bad. Like, what the fuck? I can't tell my friends that I want to go get laid? Like, okay, fuck you. So that was already kind of annoying, but I was like, okay, like, they just have rules, whatever. It continues. And the first like major thing that happened was a specific girl in my chapter at the time, kind of long story short, just like made up a bunch of bullshit about the chapter. No one knew who the girl was that was like spreading shit or whatever, but eventually like it did come out like who was saying this shit. And once her name was released, obviously a bunch of girls in my chapter were pissed, like, fuck you, like, why were you spreading shit about us? Why are we making us look bad? That girl ended up dropping. When we got this information, we had this GroupMe app where everyone in my PC could talk, and everyone was shitting on this girl, right? Like, fuck her, like, why would she do this to us? Whatever. And I made one comment saying she should have fucking dropped before wreaking havoc on our sorority. I feel like that's a pretty like normal statement to make. Like, you know, it could have been worse. There was one girl who was calling this girl a bitch, like calling this girl all these kinds of names. Like, in my opinion, calling someone a bitch and calling someone names is worse than me making a comment saying she should have dropped before like starting this bullshit, you know? And for some reason, even the girls that called her names, even the girls that called her a bitch, whatever, those girls just kind of got like spoken to real quick, like, hey, don't do that again. My comment, which in my opinion and still to this day I don't think was that bad, got me a full-blown standards meeting. So this was my first standards meeting, and I wasn't even initiated yet. And my chapter had been telling us that if you got standards as a baby, as in not someone who was initiated yet, you would be like bald, like you would be kicked out, you would never be initiated, fuck you, goodbye. So I was shitting myself. I was like, great, I'm never even gonna be initiated. I'm getting kicked out of this sorority already for doing something that I felt like was in defense of my sorority. Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, obviously no one liked this girl for starting shit. Like, why am I in trouble for defending our chapter? So I got a full-blown standards meeting, and the president and standards chair of the time were very condescending and rude to me. Like, I do not cry. I cry like 5 times a year. Like I've said in other videos, I'm super emotionless. I don't give a fuck. Nothing bothers me. I can take shit. I can dish shit out. So if someone makes me cry, it is a huge deal. And these women made me cry. And I just remember being like, what the fuck? Like, this is my exec board. Like, these are the people I'm supposed to be looking up to, and they're making me cry. Like, basically acting like I had murdered someone. Like, acting like I had committed some heinous sorority crime. And I remember after that meeting, I did not know if I wanted to continue like pursuing my chapter. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, if they're gonna be on my ass about something that I thought was me being in defense of my chapter, or something that I did not think deserved me being in trouble, especially when no one else got in trouble, like, what the fuck? They're singling me out. They don't like me. And that's not me being paranoid or me being dramatic. You can basically ask anyone in my chapter that's close to me if they think I was singled out or targeted, and they will say yes. Even my own big just a few weeks ago texted me telling me how proud she was of me for dropping, because she agreed that they were on my ass all the time and were never fair to me and never treated me equally. So I don't know what the fuck, they just did not like me from the beginning or what, but they definitely put a target on my back, and every chance they could hit the bullseye, they fucking hit it. Another week or two after that, another girl in my pledge class and I go shopping or something, and when we get back, we're sitting in the parking lot, and I'm kind of talking to her about the meeting I had and how I'm upset and just kind of getting her advice, like what she would do in my position. We were both babies, not yet initiated. And she told me, like, not trying to make me more upset or anything, but she told me that she knew of older girls, like seniors, like the girls that we're supposed to look up to and admire, like all you want to be is the senior in the sorority, you know? She told me that seniors would like get together and roast my Instagram, which is just ridiculous. Like, my Instagram is not roast worthy. Like, the only thing you could be roasting about my Instagram is if you just don't like me or don't like my appearance. So basically, I guess girls were just shitting on me for who I am or shitting on me for how I look. That's fucked up. All of these things happened before I was even initiated. I mean, warm welcome, am I fucking right? I went through with it and I joined. And just from then on out, they were always on my dick, but I got so used to them being on my dick that I just kind of brushed it off. Like, they would frequently tell me to delete Instagram or Facebook pictures, like over the stupidest things, like, oh, you have a picture with your mom and there's alcohol in the picture. It's arbitrary as to whether or not the alcohol is your mom's or yours, and you're under 21, delete it. Just like so many nitpicky things that even if you can be like, well, I mean, yeah, you can't have alcohol in your pictures if you're not 21, whatever. Like, if you're in a sorority and you know all the rules and you're sitting here thinking I'm stupid, I can promise you that there were other girls in my sorority that partied 10 times more than me, posted super scandalous tiny ass bikini pictures, posted underage drinking pictures all the fucking time. And because these girls were facey and popular and made the sorority look good to fraternities, basically is what it honestly came down to. Those girls basically never got told to remove anything, and if they did, they didn't actually have to remove them because I never once saw any of those pictures removed. So the whole pictures removing thing was pissing me the fuck off, and it happened so often that it was just like an accumulation of little things that was starting to like break the camel's back, you know? Then, this past school year, I got another fucking standards meeting, and when you get standards meeting notices, you don't get told what it's over. You just have to fucking show up and take the wrath of them pissed at you, and you don't even get any heads up of what it's over, so you can't defend yourself. Like, you're literally going in blind. So I go to this standards meeting, and this was about 3 to 4 weeks after I started this YouTube channel, and I just knew in my gut it's about the YouTube channel. And when I tell you that I told only my like 3 best friends about this YouTube channel, I'm not kidding. And those best friends would not tell people without my permission. They would not tell people to obviously try and get me in trouble. Like, those were my ride or dies. So I don't know how the fuck other people were able to find out about it for it to get back to my exec board within literally weeks of me starting the channel. Like, if that is not sketchy proof enough that they are lurking me, like fucking always wanting to know what I'm doing, always wanting to have an excuse to be riding my fucking ass, I go to the fucking meeting, guess what it was over? The YouTube channel. And guess what they didn't like? Me talking about real life things. Don't talk about drinking. Don't talk about doing this. Don't talk about that. Like, you know, like, fuck you. Freedom of speech. They did say, like, technically you can't have the channel. We can't tell you you can't have the channel, but, like, maybe you shouldn't post anything that you basically want to be posting. And I was kind of, after that meeting, to the point where I basically knew that I was going to have to drop. Like, it was inevitable at this point. I just didn't know when I was going to grow the balls to do it. Because my YouTube means so much to me. I'm not YouTube famous. I'm not established on YouTube. I don't have any credibility. Are you kidding? I'm passionate about this. I want this to go somewhere, obviously, as anyone who's passionate about YouTube does. I knew that it was coming down to having my YouTube or being in this chapter. And I knew without a doubt that my YouTube meant so much more to me than this fucking sorority did. So I already knew, like, dropping was going to be inevitable. And then only a couple weeks after that, I got called in for another fucking standards meeting, and I was like, this is bullshit. I have not been around the sorority house in weeks. I have not attended any functions. Like, I was literally basically going, like, on a hiatus, like, away from my sorority to, like, slowly, like, distance myself so that once the time I dropped, it wouldn't be as, like, devastating, for lack of better words. I don't fucking know. So I wasn't around. I wasn't doing anything. I was staying in my apartment. I was studying. Like, I was literally minding my own business, like, to a fucking T. So I get this thing saying I have a standards meeting, and I was like, that is the biggest sack of shit I've ever heard. So I messaged the standards chair back and I asked her, I know you're not supposed to tell me what the meeting is about until I show up in person, but can you please give me some kind of ballpark indicator of what this is over, because I am so fucking confused. Like, please fucking Lord, tell me what the fuck it is I've done wrong now that you would like to shit on me for. She sends me back a message and she just goes, well, I can't give you the exact details of what's been discussed, but there are girls who are talking about things about you that are concerning, and we want to bring you in basically to verify or decline this information. So in other words, other little bitches had been spreading rumors about me, and they wanted to pull me in for a meeting to get my ass in trouble over rumors to verify or decline if the rumors were true. Like, are you fucking kidding me? We are sisters. We're a fucking sisterhood, and there are fucking sisters of mine starting shit about me? Are you fucking insane? I don't think I've ever been so angry. That was the moment I knew I was gonna drop. I replied back to her. I was obviously polite and professional, okay? I was mad. I wasn't mad to her though. I was just like, with all due respect, I understand that it's your job as standards chair to call me in if you hear things about me, whatever, but I know I've done nothing wrong, and it's bullshit if people are saying that I have, and I'm not coming to your standards meeting because I am dropping. I want out of this. Finito, okay? I mean, I said it in a much more eloquent, mature way, but I was so pissed. My standards chair was like, I'm sorry you feel this way, like, we're only trying to help you, like, better you as a person, blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I never went to that standards meeting. I still don't know to this day what the fuck those rumors were, but I know I'm not doing anything wrong, and I know I'm a fucking bomb-ass bitch, so I don't give a fuck what some little low-life bitches want to say about me behind my back, okay? Like, oh, congratulations, girls are starting rumors about their sisters. What a fucking great sisterhood, okay? Like, you should be calling in bitches that are starting rumors about other girls into standards. You should be saying, you're starting a rumor that's not very sisterly, that's immature, we're fucking adults. Why are you starting rumors? You're in trouble. Not, ooh, there's a rumor about you, you're in trouble. Does that make any fucking sense? Like, the amount of rumor starting and tattletelling that went on in my sorority was disturbingly high. What the fuck is wrong with you people? So that was the moment that I decided to drop. Like, exhausted because I was so angry. I decided that I wanted to drop, and they told me all this shit. They told me I was gonna have to come in person to the sorority house. I was going to have to talk to the president about why I was dropping, have like a heart-to-heart with her. Maybe she would convince me to stay. I don't fucking know what the point of that is. I was gonna have to sign all these documents. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to get into it and be initiated. It's a big deal to be removed. So they told me the first step of that was that I would have to send an email to the sorority explaining why I dropped. And I never got a response to this email. I never even got a Facebook message or a text in response to this email. I was ignored. And if that, above all, is not the ultimate proof of the immaturity and how poorly fucking run this bullshit is, I don't know what is. Because if you have members dropping pretty prevalently, and then you have me dropping, and I'm making a fucking stand, I'm not keeping my mouth shut, and you're just not gonna say anything in response, you're either the biggest fucking coward to ever fucking live, or you're not running your organization correctly. So, without further ado, this is the email that I sent them when I chose to drop, and in my opinion, this is a great example of how to professionally pwn the fuck out of somebody. To whom it may concern. In high school, looking forward to college, there is nothing I was more excited for than recruitment at FSU. The amount of extensive research I did about the recruitment process and about the sororities themselves had me so excited to finally be a member of something I thought would be the best experience of my life. Going through recruitment was definitely the most stressful, sweatiest week of my life, but crying at XYZ when I didn't at any other house, and being rushed by girls that were all I could ever want in my future friends, I knew it was the chapter for me, so I chose XYZ on the last day of recruitment, and XYZ chose me back. It's unfortunate for me now, looking back, how an organization I was so excited to be a part of quickly became a source of unhappiness for me. From the first month into XYZ, being only a baby, only knowing other girls in my pledge class, not knowing at all what would be expected of me, I was told by other girls that older girls would talk about me behind my back, and in one case was told older girls would get together to look at and roast my Instagram page. Hearing these things was so hurtful and confusing as a new member that was still learning the ropes, feeling as if I had done nothing wrong, not understanding why girls that didn't even know me in the chapter that chose me would already be gossiping about me behind my back. Another month after that, I had my first standards meeting for something I didn't feel I deserved. It's no secret that during my freshman fall, XYZ had some issues with a girl, spreading rumors, blah blah blah, etc. When the name of the girl that spread these allegations was leaked by another girl in my pledge class on our PC GroupMe, a multitude of members went in for the kill to voice their dislike for this girl that had caused XYZ so much drama. Yes, I was one of those girls stating that she should have dropped before wreaking havoc on our chapter. While the other girls that said rude things just got a quick talking to in passing in the house one day, girls that, by the way, said much worse things than me, i.e. calling this girl a bitch and other inappropriate names, I was given a full-blown standards meeting in which I was spoken to so condescendingly I cried. I was asked things by the then president and standards chair like, "Do you consider yourself a good person?" Or, "After all of this, do you still think you have integrity?" I couldn't believe that my exec members that I was told to look up to and respect were questioning me and my character as if I was a horrible person, all for speaking out in defense of XYZ against a girl that created a lot of drama for us. I was then made to write up a quite extensive letter outlining the creed of XYZ and going line for line, giving examples from my life and from my personality to prove that I as a human being fit the values of XYZ. Yeah, they fucking made me do that shit too. Forgot about that. I knew before I was even initiated that the sorority that I chose for myself had already targeted me. I thought that feeling would pass once a new exec board was instilled, but still, it was evident that I must have been disliked by the amount of times I was asked to delete pictures or Instagram captions, all that were quite PG rated in comparison to some of the other bikini photos, drinking photos, suggestive captions, etc. that I saw older girls and even some of the younger girls posting and then never being told to remove. Something simply felt off, but I strived to be the best member I could be to prevent anyone from disliking me or having an issue with me ever again. I went to every mandatory meeting, every chapter, every philanthropy event, bought every t-shirt, paid every fee, etc. I felt like I was doing everything I possibly could be to be considered a good XYZ. And even then, it wasn't good enough. Now, being in the chapter for almost 2 years, there is so much behavior that I have witnessed that not only made me so sad and unhappy that I stopped showing up to things, but also got me to the point where now I need to drop in order to be happy again. XYZ preaches to us that we are the best on campus, not because of looks or boys or popularity or anything deemed superficial, but because we all care about each other, look out for each other, include each other, and have the most genuine sisterhood on this campus. Unfortunately, at least for me, I never experienced this. Within weeks of joining, girls in my PC all established their friend groups and to this day only stick to those groups. If I try to say hi to someone outside of my clique, I at most get a smile back and that's it. I can't get to know anyone outside of my group because no one acts receptive to it, and I know I am not the only member that feels this way. The cliques within XYZ are worse and cattier than any group I ever even encountered in high school. Girls make it clear if they think you're beneath them, but as far as I was concerned, I thought we were all members of the same organization because we all had the same goals and values. I thought we were all women, and that alone made us all equal. It makes me sad to know that maybe not every XYZ has other sisters' best interests at heart. It's evident that this must be the case if I was recently informed of having a standards meeting, which I will not be attending, due to things that have been heard about me. In other words, rumors. I am appalled to be a part of an organization that values tattling on other girls and spreading rumors to the extent that standards meetings are called into place for whoever is being talked about. Maybe standards meetings should be given to girls that the rumors are coming from, because I know XYZ certainly does not want members that spread lies or belittle others behind their back. I am so unhappy with XYZ that I am so uninvolved, which means I keep to myself. Every day I spend time with my small group of friends, go to the library, take care of my classes and responsibilities for the day. I never come around XYZ, and I go out only about 3 to 5 times a month. I don't sleep around. I don't even dress that sexy to go out. So there's no possible way anyone in XYZ can know anything about me personally, let alone bad things about me. It's offensive and saddening to know anyone is spreading anything about me in general, as we are all adult women. Adults. I fucking emphasize adults. I have found that there are far too many superficial and catty girls in XYZ for my liking to continue to pay to be a member. I consider myself a very honest, open-hearted woman of God. I'm very close to so many people and bring a smile to anyone's face as often as I can. I pride myself on my sense of humor and ability to make others laugh. I love how receptive I am to others and my ability to be friends with anyone, regardless of Greek affiliation or other superficial things that other girls actually deem important in choosing their friends. I am so in tune with myself and my spirituality that I almost never let anything get me down. So it speaks volumes that XYZ is something that brings me to tears from stress and unhappiness. Also, I feel that XYZ is so focused on maintaining the outside image and great reputation that we have that we forget to focus on the members, on the individual women that make up the chapter that ultimately make up said reputation. I want to be surrounded by amazing women that uplift each other regardless of clique, regardless of looks, regardless of interests, that are all happy together as one unit, and I did not find that in XYZ. Rather, I found unhappiness in an organization that seems concerned with only looking good from the outside. I would rather be myself and be happy and do things that further and better my life as a whole, even if that means not being in Greek life at a school that puts Greek life members on a pedestal. I may be losing my XYZ identity, but I'm definitely going to find myself, and at the end of the day, I'm stuck with myself for the rest of my life. I will forever be grateful for the positive experiences and friendships that XYZ afforded me, but this organization no longer serves or grows me. Okay, so that's kind of a summary of like all the reasons why I dropped, and I feel like I was pretty mature in that email, and the fact that no one replied to that, like they either know that they're wrong and feel like shit and have nothing to say, or they're just immature and are not running the organization properly. And on top of it, you know how I said that if you need to drop, you're supposed to meet with the exec board, you're supposed to fill out paperwork, like it is an extensive fucking process. They didn't do that for me. After they received this letter, I kid you not, like a week after I sent this email, I get a letter in the mail at my personal home in Texas from fucking XYZ Nationals saying, it is our sadness to inform you that you have been removed. You are no longer in the XYZ system. You are not an XYZ alumni. You will not be an XYZ for life. We sincerely hope this was your decision and that this was what you meant to happen because basically you're screwed now. You're out. Bye, bitch. Like literally. Like I didn't sign papers. I didn't do any of the things. Like they basically read this email and then just kicked me out. So did I drop? Was I kicked out? Like, let me know, because I actually didn't fill out any dropping paperworks. I just fucking called them out for their shit, and then they kicked me out. So, it was fucking like communism or something. Something fucking weird. A dictatorship, not democracy. Not democracy, I'll tell you that. This video is kind of long. I think everything I said was really important. If you're in a sorority, you probably want to fucking shoot me now. But I mean, it was my experience in my sorority. Other sororities, especially at other schools, there are different experiences. I'm just sharing my experience to shed light on the situation, and just because I think everyone tries to put out this super flawless image of what being in a sorority is like when it's not realistic. That's not real. Like, you're fucking selling people on bullshit. Yeah. Have a nice day, everybody.